part of the media kind of promotion that Oscar was doing was kind of like, we're moving on, we're going to go to Billy Joe Saunders. Did you like even bat an eye at that, or?
Go.
I was going to say, because you guys have had your own issues dealing with Billy Joe, right?
Go. And the reason I say go is because they need Golovkin too. We need him, but he needs us. There's no way. Liam Smith made what, 300 buys or something like that? 290 or something like that? Okay, so he can't do it by himself either. Okay, so, and I think that's what Golovkin is saying.
Billy Joe Saunders and Oscar saying that he was going to go to Billy Joe Saunders. You were like, go ahead. Can you just speak on a little bit like the difficulty that it has been to try to, because you guys have trying to get all 4 belts for a while now. Since he's had it, it's been, I feel, very difficult for you guys to get him in the ring. Obviously, it's never happened. I mean, what's the problem there?
It's very difficult with Billy Joe. But it's not only difficult with Billy Joe, it's difficult because the organizations just put so many demands on a unified champion to defend their mandatories. I think that very seldom do you get a guy with that many belts. I think there has to be some type of consideration for that aspect of boxing, that aspect of history making in boxing. And I'm just talking about, because it's Golovkin with me, it was Evander before, it was Floyd, it was Bernard, it was all those guys that are history makers that are able to do something that very seldom is done. It's like a triple crown in horse racing. And unfortunately for Golovkin and for the current guy that's trying to do that, the organizations just put so many demands on him, it's almost impossible to get it done. And then you have Billy Joe Saunders, who continues to get hurt. So what happens when you do that is you prepare for a fight that never happens, and it's 6 months, and another 6 months, and another 6 months. Before you know it, it's a year before you fight. And so sometimes Tom Loeffler is hesitant to try to book a fight where he knows there's going to be issues like that, so that we don't lose time with Golovkin. He just turned 36, so it's not like he's getting any younger. So it's difficult to say, okay, well, we're preparing for Billy Joe Saunders. He gets hurt, and we postponed it a couple times, and we're in the 8-9 months, and exactly. He'll be 40 before they fight.
Speaking of the difficulty of being a unified champion, I know there's issues with the IBF. I'm sorry, with Sergey. Do you know anything about that? What's the latest with that? What can you tell us?
You know, I don't know. I was at the hearing, obviously, on the 18th of last month. They went through all the pluses and minuses from both sides. They had about a 5-hour hearing, and the IBF is supposed to make a decision, but on what they want done. We haven't heard that decision yet. Hopefully it's coming in the next couple of days. But those are the things that I'm talking about, how it's so difficult for a unified champion to make history like that. They're not allowed. They're not allowed because every organization has their own agenda. Every organization wants their rules followed. Every organization has a mandatory. Look, Golovkin was mandatory for Felix Stern for 2 years. He never got a shot at it. You know, they moved him out of the way. He was mandatory he was supposed to get a shot at Cotto, and that never happened. Cotto got Canelo. They talked about him fighting Martinez because that was the best fight back then, and they never fought him either. So all great fighters, all fighters at that level go through that. I just wish that boxing, I think the boxing people that are at the higher ups would consider the fact that this is a history-making individual at that moment. And it could be Golovkin, it could be Canelo, it could be Terrence, it could be any of those guys that can do something that's very seldom done, to be allowed to, a little leniency to be allowed to be able to do that.
Is that situation basically kind of like, well, if they decide to go another way and, you know, maybe not kind of go with Golovkin into September with hopefully Canelo, is that kind of one of those like, well, we'll get it back if we have to, or we'll just see, or is it kind of like, I mean, because obviously the ultimate goal has always been for Triple G to get all 4 belts. Is that kind of like, that'll have to be on hold for now until, I mean, I don't know obviously that's not priority, right, to Canelo?
Well, our priority is Gennady Golovkin. Our priority is to make sure that whatever happens, it's in Golovkin's best interest. Whatever the IBF decides, that's their decision, and we'll base our decision on whatever they decide. But I don't think Gennady Golovkin is going to be dictated to on what he needs to do next. He's going to do what's in the best interest of not only his career, but his family and himself.